What is up? Welcome in to the Early Edge, powered by the Almighty SportsLine. I'm your host, Alan Bell. We have a fantastic show lined up for today, but before we get to that, let's take a look at how we did on Friday. You know what? What is that? Pretty even. I'm not the best counter in the world. Looks like 5-5 to me. Well done there. Emory Hunt coming through on East Carolina, and the Yale Columbia smashed on that over. And Matt Snyder made his Early Edge debut yesterday on the Early Edge in 5. Nailing both Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper. But you know what? We move on, and we move on to today's show. Let's bring in the stars of said show and take a look at who we've got and a fantastic lineup. First off, M Squared, great to see you. Great job last night. CBS Sports HQ nailed the Phillies pick. Well done, sir.
Hey, good morning, AB, Micah, Allie. Great to see you guys here. Ready for this college football Saturday, World Series, NBA slate. It's just a beautiful time of year. We've got hockey, everything, just the sports equinox every day, it seems. Let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. Like late October, early November is the best time in sports for sure. Allie O'Neill, pleasure as always to see you. How we doing?
Yep. Happy Saturday, everyone. Kind of nice to have a relaxing Saturday with no Alabama football, at least, to watch.
There you go. There you go. And Micah Roberts, as always, man, looking sharp. It looks like paradise again behind you. It does every week. It's good to see you, buddy.
Hey, thanks, man. And I'm so excited. You guys in Tennessee, man, today's the day, right? Today, pound Kentucky. Get ready for next week, Georgia. That's so exciting. I got Rocky Top spinning in my head like it's playing over and over because I watched the YouTube video or the guy dancing. That guy moves. I don't know his name. He smiles, but he is just Michael Jackson moonwalking sideways and back and forth. Pretty great stuff. I'm excited for Tennessee.
Hey, man, I'll tell you what, man, you've been on it all year long, dude. You were calling it, man, saying it's going to be one of those seasons, and it's come out that way. And, yeah, that video of that guy dancing in front of Neyland Stadium is hilarious. His legs, you're right. It is like Michael Jackson, man. He's good. He's good. All right, let's get into the storylines that affect the betting lines today. And, Micah, I'm going to come right back at you, man. We have NASCAR. We're down to what? 2 races? Is that correct?
This is it. Yep, 2 races. Last race of the round of 8 next week is Phoenix Championship 4. And you got cutoff time. So you either do or you don't here. And there's a lot of guys. You got Ryan Blaney, probably has to win. Denny Hamlin. Best thing for him to do would probably be win and not race for points. So it's going to be dicey coming down the stretch here. A lot of guys with different agendas. On the other side, you got guys that are up top that they could go for the win if they want. But why ruin your chances of making the championship 4? So somebody that falls into that case is someone like a Ross Chastain that might be able to just cruise all day, stay out of trouble, not irritate anybody, and go to Phoenix and try to win that race and win his first championship. So a lot of different strategies and play it out there. But I do like desperation. I like guys that have to win, and I like to have my money on them. So that's what I'll be looking at. Ryan Blaney is one of those guys. Denny Hamlin, I'm not so sure about here. In fact, Denny Hamlin is a 5-time winner. He's had over 1,900 laps led over his career. He grew up in Virginia. He's been racing at this track forever, knows it better than anything else. But this next-gen car completely ruined his groove of his entire life. He was horrible in the spring race, and he couldn't get in. He couldn't turn. He couldn't be – his car just was not set up, and the crew chiefs, nobody could set it up. And it's been like that on these type of tracks, the small tracks for Toyotas all season long. 1.5, 2-mile tracks. They've been amazing, winning races. But on these type of tracks, they haven't been very good at all. And in fact, one of Hamlin's win at Richmond was the same type of thing. He had to do some strategy at the end of the race and win basically on a pit stop and get out of sequence. But he only led 5 laps that day. I mean, that was a race that they had to gamble. So maybe he does something like that again today. I don't know, but I'm not a big fan of taking him at this price. But yeah, definitely Blaney. All of the guys. So the first race we had Byron won. He led 212 laps. I think all the Hendrick cars are going to be good. One of them's Noah Gragson at 66-1 at BetMGM. I got a little piece of that. I'm excited about him. He's a 2-time winner in Xfinity and Truck Series at Martinsville. Short track guy, raced at the Las Vegas Bull Ring growing up. This is going to be a good track for him. And he's got a great car. Alex Bowman won this race last year. But with the new car, different story. Penske looks to be the best with Hendrick as well.
You know, I'm with you. It's fascinating, like, looking at NASCAR. You know, first off, what you said about betting people, you know, essentially backs are against the wall. I love it. In almost any sport, especially, you know, obviously professional sports. 100% on that. And then 2, like the next gen cars, it's really helped some teams, right?
Mhm.
And then, like you
Yeah.
said, others just completely kind of decimated them, right?
Yeah,
So
it really
it's
has.
fascinating. Yeah, it's fascinating on that. And to get your thoughts here, our man Trent Wade, he likes Christopher Bell over Ross Chastain minus 112 and a quarter of a unit on Ryan Blaney to win outright at plus 850. What are your thoughts there? I know you spoke about Blaney just a second ago.
Yeah, Blade, make that a full unit play. Make it a 2 unit play. This guy's desperate all season long. He's been pushed around, been bullied all season long, and he keeps saying, he goes, "I'm gonna just have to start wrecking people." Well, start doing it. This is it. This everything's on the line. You better start doing some paybacks and get yourself up there, because you've got probably about 10 paybacks owed from drivers this season that have put you out of the way. No wins on the season. Mind you, 19 drivers have won this season, and he's not one of them. That's just amazing. So this is a spot he can win at. He's a Penske driver and done well. And of course, Chastain, Christopher Bell, the reason I like him a little bit here is he won at New Hampshire, and it's a mile track, but it's a paperclip shape, no banking. So it does relate similarly as far as setups here. And Chastain, like I said, I mean, I think he'd be happy with the 10th place finish. So if you think Bell can get in the top 10, that's a good bet.
There we go. There we go. All right, Allie, coming over to you. The NHL season, we're underway. We've got, 7, 8, 9 games roughly, per team that we've gotten through so far this season. So we're still very early. However, what do the betting trends look like? Break it down. What are you seeing?
Yep. So obviously favorites, 61.3%, 76, 40, and 8 on the money line. But then looking at underdogs on the puck line, they're 77 and 49, and that's 61.1%. And then home underdogs, they're actually 26 and 12, and that's around 68.4%. I mean, with the money line so juiced as they are in hockey right now, I definitely think the puck line is kind of going to be the way that you're going to want to look. I mean, favorites either way, it's really hard to want to take one and then risk having that empty net or anything like that when you're on that puck line. But I do think just based on the way, if you don't want to lay minus 175 for almost every game, you're going to have to start looking at those puck lines there. And I do think the dogs are a good spot.
There we go. Lovely. Perfect. All right. Love it. All right. Let's get into our picks for today. But before we do, let's take a quick break and hear from one of our partners. And we are back. All right. Coming over to you, Mike. Now, this becomes my favorite question, right? Whether you're on the show or traveling on the move doing this, every week people ask, first quarter plays, college football. You've got one for us today, man. Hit it, brother. What you got?
Yes, AB. We've got a first quarter under, the most fun sweat in sports betting this time of year. We're going Ohio State, Penn State, under 13.5, minus 110. Currently available on MGM. We'll watch and see how this one moves here. You're definitely not going to get a 14, at least I don't think you will. I think it's probably going to settle in at 13 everywhere. But I love the spot here. It's an early game for Ohio State on the road where the Penn State crowd will have an impact. Both of these teams really kind of started slow last week, and they've started slow multiple times so far this season. Yes, you know the drill in the first quarter. No sense of urgency at the end of the quarter. Look, these are our favorite bets to play. This one has a slight edge for me here. I like the under 13.5, banking on the defenses. Penn State defense is absolutely elite. Obviously, we know how elite Ohio State's offense is. The Ohio State offense should ultimately win out here. I think Penn State can keep it close, potentially cover the spread in this game, and that starts with a low-scoring first quarter. Let's go under 13.5.
Beautiful, man. Beautiful. Well done. All right, Allie, coming over to you. You've got a couple leans here in hockey today, and I believe both of them are totals, correct?
Yes.
Break it down. What do you got?
Okay, so just on Saturdays, based on the way it's been going, I have been going a little light, mainly because we haven't seen lineups get released and confirmed, and goalies, that's a huge thing for me, especially. So I have been kind of laying easy, but I do have two plays that I want to kind of give out as leans here. So the first one is the Rangers and Stars under 5.5. It's one of the few 5.5s we've seen, and of course we're gonna take the under on it. But Jake Ottinger, he's 5-1, and he has a 1.17 GAA, and he hasn't given up more than 2 goals in a game. And then on the other hand, Igor Shesterkin, 3-0-2, and he has a 2.57 GAA. But both teams have really seen low-scoring games. The under is 6-2 in both of them, and I really think Ottinger is going to be the key here because the Rangers really just haven't been playing as well as I think a lot of people have been expecting, but the Stars have been really good and only allowing an average of 1.88 goals per game. So I think the under is going to be the play there. And then Avs at Islanders over 6. Again, I like this one because, again, we're getting that whole 6 number. But Georgiev, he's 4-1, and he has a 2.56 GAA. But he did get a game in against the Islanders because he was with the Rangers last season and gave up 3 goals. And then Varlamov, he's 1-1, but he did give up 5 goals last season against the Avs. I just think we see both teams pretty equally matched on the offense there. So I would rather take the over because I think we could see a potential overtime or close game. But that, or I would actually kind of not want to take the Avs. So
nice. Now, all right, Allie, real quick. While we're talking about NHL totals, all right, so I got some question in the chat. And Danny asked right here, ask Allie about the high betting totals in the NHL. Almost every game is 6.5. Have you seen a big variance, this season compared to last season? Anything like that? Like, what are you seeing in regards to totals?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, last season, most games were probably opened up around this time, like 5.5, 6, probably on the high end. And now that we're seeing these, like the low end, almost 6, 6.5, it's definitely changing how you're going around. Because I remember, so many games last season that I only hit because we got that empty net and it pushed it to 6 versus having a team that you're waiting for that 7th goal. And I think it's a huge difference.
Awesome. You're the best. Thank you. All right. Now, Micah, you are in the cleanup spot. I'm going to go real quick, get 2 plays out, and then let you run the show, my man. All right, so I already gave out Tennessee first quarter, -3.5 against Kentucky tonight. So that, take a look there at your books. It might be at 4, might be at 3.5. Definitely price shop on that one because you're going to see some variances there. Tennessee's outscored opponents 96-24 in the first quarter of games this season. And let me tell you this, Tennessee is the fastest scoring team in the country, or in the SEC. Kentucky's the slowest scoring team in the country. That's how slow that they are. I think that you're going to see the most aggressive start to a game in Josh Heupel's career at Tennessee today because he knows if he could get up 14-0, you take care of business. They're done. Kentucky cannot play that game whatsoever. We're also going to play Navy, team total over 27.5 at home against Temple today because I'm just fading Temple in everything that they do. I just do not believe in this football team. They're one of the worst in the country. Sorry, everyone that is a Temple alum. All right, so those are my 2. Now, Micah, you got 2 plays, 1 in college football and 1 in game 2 of the World Series tonight. So, my man, I'm getting out of your way. The show is yours.
Yeah, I bet this last night, San Diego State and Fresno State over the total was 42. It's 42.5. I've seen 43 pop up. The news is from my most reliable source, my paid consultant when I used to run sports books he told me that Jake Haener is going to start in this game. And I'm looking all over. I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen any release or news on it, but I took him for his word. I trust him. So I bet it. And it's 42.5 right now, some 43s. Haener, the last game, in case you don't miss, he's like 6.5 points to the number. So we'll see that number move. I saw 10s. Game was 9. It's up to 10 now. It's probably going to move forward when news breaks that he's going to play. So something to watch for. But just an example of what he did his last full game against Oregon State. They lost 35-32, 29 of 46, no interceptions, 360 yards and a touchdown. It was carted off against USC. Logan Fife comes in, has not been good, can't make the connections, can't make the passes. Obviously, not many can. Haener's going to be in the NFL. And then San Diego State's going to have to play catch up, I believe. So this will be a fast-paced game because of the quarterback situation with news. Hopefully, the news is true. Keep a lookout on it, but I'm willing to go with my source. And then the baseball game, fantastic game last night. This is the script that was made for the Phillies, right? This is what they've been doing. They take care of game 1 on the road. They've done it against St. Louis. They did it against the Braves. They've done it against the Padres. They did it against the Astros here. Now they go to game 2 where they lost in the previous 2 series as well as the final regular season series against the Phillies. They won the first game and lost the next 2. Not that that matters, but Framber Valdez was one of those pitchers. And in his outing against the Phillies in the last regular season series, 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, and 10 strikeouts. I mean, that's a lot of strikeouts for 5 innings. He's pitching so well right now. They've won his last 3 starts. He hasn't allowed no runs in 2 of his last 3. They've won 11 of his last 13 starts. They just win behind this guy. He's been like their best starter down the stretch. So I think they're going to get the win here. I'm probably going to go with the under as well. But Astros tie it up tonight.
There we go, man. There we go. All right, now, Frank in the chat asks, BTTS on the MLS playoff games today. Frank, I'll say this. I stopped once we got close to the postseason because those things started to just dry up like the Sahara Desert, dude. So no place for me on those. It definitely changed in just regular season as opposed to the postseason. Things got tight in a hurry. All right, everybody grab your paper, grab your pencil. Let's take a look at a recap here. It is glorious. All right, M squared is on. Ohio State, Penn State, first quarter under 13.5. Michael Roberts, as he just broke down, San Diego State, Fresno State, over 42.5. The Astros money line minus 134. I'm on Tennessee, first quarter minus 3.5. And the Navy team total over 27.5. Chip Patterson from Friday, Wake Forest minus 3.5. And Emory Hunt from Friday, Fordham, Holy Cross under 73.5. And Jackson State Southern under 51.5. But you didn't think we just had that, did you? Bam! Hit you with it right there. Our college football show, week 9 edition. Tom Fornelli, TCU, West Virginia, over 69. Notre Dame plus 2.5. Wake Forest minus 4. Cal plus 17.5. Michigan State team total under 16.5. Jacob Feder, who just sent me a picture with Paul Feinbaum, by the way, which is hilarious because he's at the Florida-Georgia game today. Iowa team total under 23.5. Nebraska team total under 20.5. Colorado State, Boise State under 43. North Carolina minus 3, Oklahoma State plus 1.5. Chip Patterson, Pitt, UNC over 64.5. Wake Forest also on at minus 4. TCU, West Virginia over 69. Rutgers, Minnesota under 41. Utah, Washington State over 55. Florida, Georgia under 56.5. Micah Roberts, Northwestern, Iowa under 37.5. Syracuse minus 2.5. Florida, Georgia under 56.5 as well. TCU, West Virginia over 69. Oklahoma State plus 1.5. Kentucky, Tennessee over 63.5. Penn State plus 15.5. And Allie, if you could, hit us with those two leans again. What do you got?
Yep. So the Avs and the Islanders over 6, and then the Rangers and Stars under 5.5.
Okay, perfect. And you had those as leans, so I didn't want to include them on the official, but we definitely wanted to make sure that we got those out there because, as you said, Saturdays have been a little difficult in regards to getting information for NHL games. So that's all the damage we can do for today. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. We will be live Sunday morning, normal time, 10 a.m. Eastern. Not to mention, we'll be live at 12 p.m. Eastern for our Sunday kickoff show for the NFL, and then obviously for Sunday Night Football at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. So join us there. But until then, everybody, best of luck. Let's cash these tickets. We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.